I'm Ella, and I'm dramatic and problematic.
She's a Mona Lisa. Everyone's not in.
So hi guys, and welcome back to my channel if you've been here before. So as you can see from the title, today I'm gonna be sharing with you guys the story time of how I shifted to Euphoria. If you haven't seen it yet, Euphoria just ended yesterday. Like at the time of recording, I have not watched the finale yet because it has not come out yet, but it's probably shocking. So, and I will be putting out a analysis of this whole season 2, so stay tuned for that because I really did enjoy it and it is generally one of my favorite shows. Before we start the story, I do want to say I scripted that it would be in college/university because I was not about to be in high school, and I just said it's like a random university. It's in the same town, everything. The only difference is a few years older, and I'm trying to step in, maybe call the police on some people, like who knows. Yeah, so let's get right into the story. I'm like new here, new in town. I've not met these people before. I wanted to have that full experience. I'm the Jules, but at this point Jules knows everyone, so they all went to high school together. I scripted that, and so they had their experiences, but some plot lines did happen, some didn't. Like Kat's whole like persona change. She's not Kat pre-season 1. Does that make sense? But like Nate and Maddie, you know, they are pre-season 1. I went to this party, and it's a frat fucking party. Of course I went to a frat party because why not? Scripted that I transferred. It's my 3rd year, and again, Maddie's already hooking up with someone in the pool. Like that did happen. The same, and Nate's freaking out and looking at her, and I'm like there like cool. I don't know these people. I'm not gonna get involved. I'm not gonna be Jules. I am not gonna be in the kitchen cutting myself. Sorry. Nate does not deserve my time or my energy like that. So I'm like, Ruth's a lot of drama. Jules is a lot of drama. Like, let me find Lexi, because she's the only normal person here. So, you know, I'm just looking around, and I'm like, Lexi, where are you? She's just like sitting kind of in the corner, not really talking to everyone, like nursing her drink. And like she's have like one of those red solo cups. I walk up to her, and she's like wearing like her usual like a floral crop top, I think it was, and like just jeans. But you know, I was like, oh my god, like your top's so cute. Whatever, it's easy way to strike up a conversation. She kind of looked around like, oh, are you talking to me? And I was like, this poor girl, so cute. And she's like, oh, thank you. And I was like, where did you get it? I don't even remember what she said. And so I just started kind of talking to her, and she's like kind of shy, but she was really nice and into the conversation. And as we started talking, and you know, she started drinking her drink more, she started to loosen up a little and not be so like nervous. We talked for like I think 20 minutes, and she kind of like goes like, wow, like it's really nice, thank you for like talking to me. I usually don't really talk to people in these parties, like, you know, yeah, I don't really do much, and it's just like I don't really talk to anyone, and my sister always drags me to these parties and then runs off, and I'm like, oh, that sucks, like who's your sister? And she like starts telling me about Cassie, and you know, we're just vibing. I was like, oh, like let's go get another drink, and you know, end up in the living room. So we sit down and we're talking, and then Rue comes, and she's like clearly on drugs, and sits down on the couch, and like Lexi like looks at her and is like, hi Rue. And then Rue's like, oh, hi Lexi. Was so fucked up on drugs, didn't even recognize Lexi until Lexi said something. And then she looks at me, and I'm like, hi, I'm Ella. She's like, and Lexi's like, oh, this is my best friend. This is my friend Rue. We've been friends since we were really young, blah blah. And like Rue's just like not in this world. And you know, me and Lexi, we're not intoxicated or anything. Like, yeah, we've had a few drinks, and we're kind of like, you know, like a little buzz, but nothing compared to Rue. So yeah, we're just like chatting, and she told me she's an English major and she really likes writing and whatever. And I'm like, oh wow, that's really cool. I would love to read sometime, like the stuff you write, you know, whatever. And we're just talking, and I had actually scripted that my major there was drama, and so if Lexi wants to put on another play, I would play 20 roles. I am down. I will play Suze. I will play Nate. I know I'm not a man, but I think I would make a pretty good Nate. Just kidding. Ethan did very well. And yes, that was kind of that day. And like I ended up getting her Instagram and exchanging stuff, and we ended up finding out we had 1 or 2 classes together, which was really nice. And yeah, so that was like my first day, and that's kind of the only person I talked to because I did not want any drama happening with me that day. So I was like, mm-mm. So the first week of class kind of was really fun. I do have a couple of my acting classes, and Maddie's actually in one of my classes, and that's how I met her. And we end up talking there. I think I complimented her makeup, and I was like, wow, like your eyeliner looks so snatched, like damn, like perfection over there. And she's like, oh, thank you. And I also had really good makeup on that day, so she's like, your makeup looks real good, girl. Like, oh, did you transfer? And I was like, yeah, I just moved here. I actually just went to this party last night. It's like, oh, I was there. And I was like, oh yeah, I met this girl Lexi. It's like, I know Lexi, her sister's my best friend. And I'm like, oh, that's really cool. So we ended up starting a conversation. I had been texting Lexi, and we ended up like deciding we're gonna meet up at Starbucks after class and just hang out, whatever, which is so nice. I made a friend right away, and like Lexi doesn't have that many friends either, so I was like, yes, girl squad. Like, Lexi needs a best friend because Rue ain't doing it. I volunteer as a tribute. Literally, Rue did her dirty, and I hope Rue is a better friend next season. And I get like I always get the pink drink in Venti, like, and sometimes I even get Trenta, and if you don't know, Trenta is like extra large. We're posting a couple stories together because we're girls, and especially me, I'm like big on Instagram. And obviously I end up tagging her, and then she reposted on her story. So a few days after, I end up going to their apartment because Lexi and Cassie and Maddie and Kat share a place. But like I said, it feels bad because there's definitely like Maddie and Cassie and Kat are like this, and Lexi's like here. So I'm like here with Lexi, but I also want to be like this with them. So hopefully we can do this. Or here, we'll do this actually. That's a yeah. I don't know what I'm doing, guys. Yeah, we just like literally grabbed one of those girls' night out wine bottles and just drank it and talked for the entire night, and it was so fun. That's kind of like the nice part, and then it gets triggering. There's another party, because there's always parties. It's every weekend, right? So it's first week of school's over. I'm already part of this friend group, like kind of like me and Lexi are super close at this point. Like we were basically hanging out every day, and once you get to that point, even if you're not as close with other people, like obviously she's gonna include me. We're going to this party, and she's like, oh, come get ready with us. So I'm like, oh, thank you guys. And so we all get ready together. Super cute. Maddie helped me do my makeup. She's like giving makeup tips, and I'm like, queen shit. Like she's like, oh yeah, Nate wants to talk to me, and Kat's like, oh, didn't you have sex with that guy in the pool? And she's like, oh, I don't even remember, I was blackout drunk. And we're like, oh my god, like, are you okay? Obviously I know she wasn't blackout drunk, but I'm not gonna be like, oh, you're lying. And she's like, yeah, well, I'm gonna talk to Nate about it today because we just texted about it. He hasn't, like, I haven't seen him that much. I'm like, you sure you want to do that? I mean, I can't, but I couldn't say anything. I was like, because what am I gonna say? No, don't talk to him. Like, she's not gonna listen to me. I'm like, oh shit, like, I should have scripted that this Nate foolery is not happening. I will get this man somehow. I don't care, but he's going to end up in prison. I don't care. Talking to Lexi, and I was like, oh, I've seen people being in abusive relationships before, and the warning signs, and from what she said to me about this guy, it just kind of sus. So I know we can't really get involved because it is her relationship, and I'm not gonna tell her what she can or can't do, but like, can we just try and be around her today and like not leave her alone with Nate if possible? And she's like, oh god, like it's gonna be hard, but she's like, oh, we have to try. And she kind of talks to Kat and Cassie about it a little bit. I don't know what she said to them, to be honest, but Lexi is someone who's very discreet. I'm not crying, you're crying. Yeah, so we go to this party, whatever. I'm like looking okay, to be honest. I looked hot, I looked snatched. So we walk into this party looking all hot, and like we are the hottest girls around. Like, I don't know what to tell you, but we did do that. And so we walk in, and like Lexi looks more innocent, but she still looked pretty good. I was like, Lexi can clean up, like, is your man Fez around? And he was around. He was actually sitting outside by the pool with Rue, and Rue's already fucked again, and Jules was there too, and Jules was also fucked. So I'm like, and Fess is also like hi, but he wasn't like fucked like them. We did say kind of hi to them and spoke to them for a bit, but didn't really say much, and then just went to get drinks. And Nate comes up, so awkward, honestly. He kind of like does this like head nod. She's like, yeah, you have something you want to say to me? And he's like already angry at her, and I was just not feeling this vibe. This is the second time I've been around him, and the vibes were even worse than when he was like looking at her, hooking up. It was just, I don't know, because he wasn't that close to me the first time that I saw him, so I don't know if it was that he was so close to me or what. I felt so uncomfortable, like, oh, I don't want this man close to me. I get introduced to him, and he went to like shake my hand, and I was like, I had my drink, and I like just started like gulping it, and he kind of awkwardly laughed, and he's like, someone's trying to forget tonight. And I was like, yep, totally. And everyone laughed except him and me. It was so weird. Like, I don't think anyone else was picking up on the vibes, but I think he kind of knew I saw behind the mask, and he just like right away, I don't think he liked me either. So kind of on the same vibe as me about how we felt about each other. Hope he doesn't try to come near me ever when I'm by myself. So yeah, so they start kind of talking. You know, it kind of seems like they're gonna go and like talk one-on-one. I look at Lexi, and Lexi looks at me, and we're like, what do we do? And Lexi, genius, she like grabs her stomach and she starts screaming in agony, and I'm like, Jesus Christ. I knew she was faking though, because like, the fuck. Everyone's like, oh my god, are you okay? You know, and Nate's like not as worried as everyone else, of course, because he's a psychopath. But yeah, everyone's like, oh my god, are you okay? And like Lexi's like, oh, I think I need to throw up, like I don't feel good. And Maddie's like not even paying attention to Nate anymore. It's like, oh, like, do we need to take you home, blah blah. You know, she pretended for a little bit more, and then she's like, oh, like, can you take me to the bathroom, Maddie? Maddie's like, yeah, of course. They leave together. We're just standing there for a few seconds, and Nate like doesn't know what to do, and then he sees like McKay at the end of the room. He's like, hey bro, come here. And then he comes over, and like him and Cassie like kind of are looking at each other, but they're not really saying anything, but you can tell like these two have the vibe. And I'm like, I see. And then he's like, oh, hi, like, who are you? And I'm like, oh, hi, I'm Ella. And he's like, oh, McKay, nice to meet you. And he's honestly pretty nice, chill person, especially compared to Nate. Honestly, Nate was really, really making me uncomfortable, and McKay kind of relieved some of the tension that was in the air, because I think he diffuses Nate a little bit, and Nate wasn't like looking at me like this anymore. So I was like, okay. Honestly, you know how when you shift to Hogwarts, Dumbledore knows? He's always like looking at you like that. That was Nate, low-key. I think he knew there was something off about me. He knows, and I know he knows. I know he knows. Thankfully, after like Lexi was fine, obviously, and he ended up getting like more drunk, and obviously she's not gonna be having this serious conversation with Nate when he's pissed drunk. So she's like, ugh, boys are such a waste of time. And then the rest of us are like, yeah, like honestly, you deserve so much better than Nate, like don't waste your time with him, blah blah blah. And we're just going off about it, and she's like, yeah, you guys are right. So hopefully she does not date this guy. Honestly, I haven't shifted back since, because like it was really recently. I've been consuming so much fucking Euphoria that I had to. And so yeah, if you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed hearing about Euphoria, don't forget to like it so I know that you guys want more parts of this story, and leave a comment and let me know what you thought about this story. What I should do, like, should I script Nate gets transfer schools? Because like I honestly don't know. Well, I don't know if he beat up that guy, that random guy that was hooking up with Maddie, because other than that, he hasn't abused Maddie physically to my knowledge. So there hasn't been any crimes he's committed that we could like get him arrested for, and I obviously don't want to stick around and wait for him to commit a crime. Let's script that Nate goes to therapy. Maybe it'd be great if you guys could help me decide what to continue the ZR, because I honestly don't know if I'd feel comfortable shifting back with Nate. And you did enjoy hearing about my shift to Euphoria. Here's the time I tried dressing up as the Euphoria characters for a week. Like, who does that? I hope you're having a fantabulous morning, afternoon, or night, whatever time it is for you guys. I love you guys so much. Mwah.
She's a Mona Lisa.